So we have some good news. The Biden administration is now planning to spend $1 billion on the U.S. southern border. However, it is not on securing the U.S. southern border. It's about making it more energy efficient and more climate friendly. So I'll address that in today's video, but also explain why many lawmakers are irate at what is going on at this time. So again, all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So let's start off by showing you this. Here's an article from Fox News. It says Biden admin funnels $1 billion for climate programs at borders amid ongoing migrant crisis. And according to Republican Representative Westerman, says this administration refuses to address the crisis they've created. Now, what is this crisis? Well, it's actually a multifaceted crisis, and here's why. First off, the United States is now being warned of a new border crisis amid this outbreak and this crisis over in Haiti. What we now know is Haitians are flooding the border, not of the United States, but of the Dominican Republic. They are trying to get out of Haiti and go to someplace safe. The Dominican Republic is much safer than Haiti at this time. Well, the concern is we are going to see those people eventually make their way into the United States. Or, this is the concern, is if they make their way into Mexico, then Mexico is going to start asking for more assistance from the U.S. They haven't done so yet, but experts say it's just a matter of time. But look at this. House Republicans, they're going to pass Ukraine aid after backing down from their U.S. southern border demand. According to reports, we are now learning, and this just came in yesterday, we are now learning that House Republicans are willing to pass aid for Ukraine and Israel, despite not having any bill for the U.S. southern border. And the reason for this, according to reports, is the bill that the Biden administration is going to give Republicans will never be good enough. It's never going to be good enough, so Republicans are simply going to shut that down. And if former President Donald Trump wins the upcoming election, then, and only then, they will try to go forward with what former President Donald Trump deems the best possible option. And at this time, his plan is to deport millions and millions of people. So, we'll see if that happens or not. I want to show you something else, though. Look at this. It says the Pentagon commander warns of alarming number of drone incursions at the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, the concern here is that these drones are able to track their groups and direct them away from officials and National Guard and police or Border Patrol. And if they can do that successfully, then they'll start to pay, or people will start to pay more money to these groups in order to get them across successfully, but without any issues. That means no loss of life, no injuries, nothing like that. So they're actually going to make more money by flying drones overhead and scouting to make sure there's nobody in their path. So that's something that's very interesting. But some say this is a bigger concern because we are seeing so many drones in the air. The concern here is if they start to get outside of the border, and we could potentially see them start hitting helicopters or low-flying aircraft as well. So that's a little bit of an issue as well. Here's another thing I wanted to show you. And this is really concerning. It says thousands of unaccompanied children make a dangerous trek to the U.S. southern border. The reason why children are now making this jaunt to the U.S. southern border or beyond by themselves is because, for one, they do not have enough money for a whole family to go and make the trek. And so in a lot of cases, children in Mexico or from other countries have been learning English in school if they went. So because of this, they now have the ability to communicate once they get into the United States. Well, the concern with that is these are children. I saw a few videos just probably earlier this week or maybe last week where children, probably the age of 8, 9 years old, were trying to make their way into the United States by attaching themselves to other smaller groups. And the way you knew that these were not people that were family members is the child could be a Mexican heritage, but yet they're traveling with people from Turkey or from China or places like that. So really, they're just trying to stay together as like a safety precaution, but they probably can't even communicate with each other. Again, it's a huge concern. And then the other fact is, what happens when that child actually makes it into the United States? Well, the reason I bring all this up is because one of the things that we've been hearing a lot about is lawmakers are asking for additional assistance. They want more money to go down to the U.S. southern border. This is exactly what President Biden asked for as well. He said, and I quote, "Give me the money I've been asking for. Give me the money I've been asking for." That's all he says. Give me the money I've been asking for, and I can fix the problem at the border. You know what he's planning on doing? Let's go ahead and read this, because it says the Biden administration funnels $1 billion for climate programs at borders amid ongoing migrant crisis. Well, when we dive into this article, I want to read a little bit to you, okay? It says the GSA, it's the General Services Administration, announced it would direct Inflation Reduction Act funds. This is Inflation Reduction Act, okay, to support the climate initiatives at the border, even as the ongoing surge of migrant strains federal resources. While the GSA Administrator Robin Carnahan and Andrew Mayock, President Biden's Federal Buy Clean Task Force co-chair, said the action would reduce harmful emissions, the move was slammed by Republicans and experts. Says, as usual, the Biden administration is refusing to address a problem of their own making. Goes on to say, instead, they're touting a $1 billion investment in green technology at the border while Biden's border crisis continues to wreak havoc on local communities and federal lands. Talk about fiddling with Rome while Rome burns. Says, time and time again, the House Committee on Natural Resources has spotlighted these issues and recently held a field hearing in one of the hardest hit areas of southern Arizona. Yet this administration refuses to address the crisis that they've created. Now, the one thing I just want to warn you, we are about to see billions of dollars go to the U.S. southern border. Some of this is going to go to potentially build a little bit more of the U.S. southern border wall. Some is going to go to pretty much building the fentanyl scanners because the U.S. government has already purchased these. They just don't have the money to install them. That's an issue. But the reason I bring this up is because of this. Okay, I want to show you what's going to be in this. Here's what we know. It says, for example, $200 million will be used to renovate the Bridge of the Americas port in El Paso, Texas, installing solar panels, electric vehicle chargers, and other energy efficiency installations. Another $135 million will be used to make the Douglas Commercial Port in Cochise County, Arizona, all electric, and $100 million will be used to make Arizona's San Luis Land Port the first net zero port of entry. Now, I think we can all agree that, yes, having some electric options is a good idea. In the end, it will help our climate. It will do, great things. But in the interim, it is costing us more money. It doesn't solve the crisis at the border. We are going to make it all, energy efficient. Great. $200 million to renovate the Bridge of the Americas by installing solar panels and electric vehicle chargers and other energy efficiency installations. Do we need to install solar panels at this time? No, we don't. Do we need more electrical vehicle chargers? Some say no, we don't. Do we need to make it more convenient for people to get across the U.S. southern border? Some say no. We need to make it a little bit more strict. We need to make it harder, not easier. Because by making it easier and making it where we are going to save, the U.S. government money, that's great. But it's not great now. This will be a good thing in 5 to 10 years. It's not going to be a huge deal breaker today. But here's the concern. This is what I want to leave you with. The concern is that as of right now, all polls are showing that President Biden is going to lose the upcoming election. There's a chance Democrats lose the control over the Senate. If Republicans remain in control over the House, they regain control in the Senate, and President Trump takes office. The concern there is all these things that President Biden has talked about won't happen. The only way these will happen if he starts to implement them today. So that's the concern, is get ready to see billions of dollars hit the U.S. southern border, but it may just be towards his climate pledge and his green agenda. So we'll see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is that is what we know as of today. As soon as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. But that is all we know as of right now. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.